Everybody, welcome to Stack Your Points. Thanks for watching and listening. And this is the Friday Q&A segment. So your questions, we answer them, sometimes up to an hour, sometimes it creates its own episode in and of itself. So if you have questions, always feel free to drop them on the YouTube channel or email us at stackyourpoints@gmail.com. But we hope you enjoy this week's Q&A session. Thanks for watching and listening. Welcome to another episode of Stack Your Points. I'm Matt Clausen from the Matt Clausen YouTube channel, joined by RJ from Do You Take Cards. RJ, how are you today?
I'm well. The incomparable Dolly Parton lost her husband today on March the 3rd, so it is a sad day for Dolly Parton. And as we all know, Dolly Parton is our true Lord and Savior.
All right. We're also joined by Tariq from Rook's Rewards. Tariq, how are you today?
Good. Had a good Monday. And if we're going to add on to the we lost somebody good or notable, rest in peace to Angie Stone. We lost her over the weekend. The music world is still mourning.
Yes. RJ, not to take anything away, it's just there's no saving this timeline.
Oh, absolutely not. But Dolly Parton taking Governor to task for ending her book drive for kids who get free books is something I enjoy. I enjoy Dolly Parton telling people to act right. I do deeply enjoy that.
Yes. And Lonnie is away this week. He is traveling in Europe. Business pleasure, I don't remember. Doesn't matter. But check out Lonnie's channel. Become a member on his channel to check out his travel experiences that are behind the paywall. Short plug there. Anyway, sorry to do that. We'll move into our viewer questions. We've got a few to get through. Our first question comes from Jason, who asks, can we have a dramatic reenactment of the lost episode from last week? I think the quickest way to answer this is the biggest topic from last week that we'll be referencing throughout the show is Tariq is no longer Team United. Tariq has gone to that great blue bird in the sky that is Southwest.
Coming back home. And I should have never left because for crying out loud, I am a red-blooded Texan that loves Buc-ee's and barbecue. And it only makes sense that I fly the Texas airline.
So why'd you give up on American Airlines?
American Airlines can kick rocks barefoot. I am not connecting in Charlotte ever again because I don't want to be running from gate to gate.
All right. I guess. Also, if you've been taking a drink every time Tariq mentions that he's from Texas, I'm sorry. Your poor liver.
Well, if you're going to be drinking, may as be good old Tito's vodka from Austin, Texas. Yeehaw.
Tito's vodka is about as Texan as I am.
I used to be a firm believer in the idea that the liver has sinned and it must atone, but yeah.
Also, Deep Eddy exists as well. Also another Texas brand. I can keep going.
Please don't. Because then we have to remind you that your governor is...
Look, Texas isn't perfect, okay? All right?
So, Tariq,
we can establish that.
Tariq, can I get you on record? Because we have two New Yorkers and a Texan here. Can I get you on record from the official from Texas who believes that the New York Strip should be changed to the Texas Strip? For your thoughts on that, please.
I am 100% down for that. If we can just make it the Texas Strip, because there's nothing more Texan.
I do have the ability to mute people because I host this Zoom stream, so I wanted to...
That was ridiculous. And you can go... Never mind, we're still wanting to be monetized eventually.
Y'all remember that Chicago is actually the meat processing capital of the country, so like, just...
I'm just going to go on record
Chicago
and say...
Strip doesn't have the same connotations.
I'm just going to go on record and say, I heard you say y'all, so our influence is going down, going well.
I went to college in North Carolina. What do you want from me?
I don't know if I should say okay or I'm sorry. Well, it depends on what school.
Small Quaker school in Greensboro. Anyway, we won't mention the rest of what happened with last week. Just, backups upon backups will now need to be made at some point. That's all. If it doesn't exist in three places, I guess it doesn't exist. Anyway, so Jason, yeah, that's kind of the gist of what happened. Tariq has a new airline, and Tariq doesn't have a Southwest reward Rapid Rewards X app, and he's been crying ever since he made that discovery.
I'll get through it. I haven't
Will
downloaded
you?
Mileage Plus. Well, I mean, I'm gonna have to. It's either that or I'm gonna try to pigeonhole myself back into United, which no thanks. I already tried that, and that's why I'm back to Southwest.
Again, you made 52K miles in like 4 months using the app. I'm sure you could keep building that as a reserve, as a
Matt,
yeah.
stop.
Too late.
But
Stop.
It's too late.
Matt,
Downloading
stop.
it
We're,
right.
we're not going
No.
to push him one way and then immediately push him the other way. We're not going to do this to poor Tariq. We've had our fun. We've had our fun.
It's too late. Thanks for the reminder. And now I
see,
can
just do it for stuff like this where the peer pressure, he has no ability to counteract peer pressure.
honestly, I could still potentially still use it, but like you said, maybe for like the one-offs when I go to Chili's, and I can probably do a stack and earn Southwest points in United Miles or Chase points through Southwest. So,
All right. Well, Jason, those were the highlights. Tariq is now with Southwest. More power to him. He'll be figuring out cattle call boarding in their new boarding process, whatever the heck that's going to be, whenever the heck they announce it. Yep. Yep. Tariq's here for it. Me, not so much. So we'll move on to our next question. This comes from Anthony B., who asks, are you a cat or dog person? And RJ, cat, dog?
I enjoy both cats and dogs for different reasons in different contexts. I like cats because if I'm gone for a day, the cat will be fine. I like dogs because when I throw objects, I live in the country, I have lots of space. When I throw objects, they return them to me. So, yeah, I've always had both growing up. I have neither right now, which is still very strange. But yeah, I'm a fan of both cats and dogs. I would probably say 60-40 cats, but splitting hairs there.
Tariq?
yes. I mean, gotta love dogs. I mean, who doesn't love a dog? I mean, they're man's best friend. And cats, you know, cats adopt you. And if a cat adopts you, they either really likes you or they know they can take advantage of you. So I'm hoping for the former.
Yeah, cats can just exist around you. They'll accept your food. They'll accept your place of warmth and litter box. But like, they sometimes need you, but very rarely. Dogs always need you, which is nice. That is a thing for you. The breed of dog I want, I cannot have because I do not have enough space to allow it, and it would just be torture to keep them in my house. And I'm not that kind of person. So there are dogs in my life, but they're not the breed that I want, and and I'm fine with them, but yeah, I don't know. I can live with cats, I can live with dogs. We'll see how my kid is with allergies and kind of keep going from there, because that will be a bigger predictor going forward. But they like all animals. Cats, dogs, they have a pet snake, they have pet fish, they have pet frog. They ask for many other animals, so we get them a stuffy of whatever
Is
animal.
your child Steve Irwin?
My child would have loved Steve Irwin. My child, I have not. I need to introduce my child to Bindi, or at least Bindi's show. And the son has stuff now. Yeah, they want all sorts of stuffed animals. They ask for stuffed animals all the time. Whenever they go to the zoo with my family, they will ask for a new stuffed animal and highlight specifically for my collection. Soon it'll be my menagerie, or soon my zoo. And they have their own little surgical center for animals in their house and my house. So with scrubs,
I
they've,
see your child having a podcast called Stack Your Stuffings in the future.
I'm going to let you have that one, but maybe. All right. So thanks, Anthony, for that one. We all like animals. I just can't get the dog breed I want and simmer slowly on it. We're going to move on to our next question. It comes from M2K, who asks, how much is top hotel status actually worth for the normal family that travels maybe twice a year? Also, potentially internationally, but let's just go with normal family travels maybe twice a year, and I'll go into the international a little bit. Tariq, how much is top hotel status as you currently have IHG's second highest status?
So I haven't been able to really truly quantify it, mostly because my IHG stays, including my future one week from Friday, have just been like Holiday Inn Expresses. So I haven't really gotten to experience the status at like a Intercontinental or Kimpton. But I've had late checkout, but I think you can get late checkout even as a member now. But I guess it's you're more likely to get it with the higher status versus, just being a member and hoping that you're at a Holiday Inn Express in a podunk part of Virginia. So, but I will say, I mean, even with Hyatt Discovers that I've had pretty decent value. I mean, whether it's just the extra points earning or the bottled water, but I feel like for a family that, like, say for example, Hilton Diamond, you have the Hilton Aspire, you get Hilton Diamond. I feel like if you potentially get an upgrade to like a 2 bedroom suite, if you have that possibility, it may work out for the family. It may you get the elevated thing, you might get the free breakfast at certain properties. So I think it may have some value, but mostly if you're probably just gonna buy it. So like for example, like the Intercontinental Ambassador, that might be a good thing to do instead of just trying to fight your way to like IHG Diamond.
That's fair. RJ, your thoughts here?
So I think it depends on what your expectations are. If your expectations are, I get Hilton Diamond status and now I profit, no. Like Hilton Diamond status can be great if your expectations are in a place that are reality based, right? If you want to accrue points during the year, then yes, being Diamond will help you for your stays. So when you get your points from those stays to potentially have points for your next stay, it will help because it's 100% bonus on your points for stays. So stuff like that can matter. If you have, say, a Hilton card, that will you can use it for other categories, so that will help you accrue points during the year as well, and you'll get a boost there. So it really depends on what you're trying to do. If you're, I want to be, a Hilton Diamond, that's one of the easier statuses to get and to sort of get some benefit from. And I want, an upgrade every time I walk in, and I want this and that. And, I want somebody to roll out a small red carpet, constantly for me to get down to my room. That's not going to happen, right? Like, that's not realistic. So you can want all you want, but it's not going to help. So I think if you have the correct expectations, I think it can be great. I think you are probably more likely to get benefits out of something like a Choice at a top tier level than something like a Marriott, because Marriott you can get to platinum and then you have to literally stay the nights to go up from there. And it's not something like platinum is so saturated for Marriott that you're really not going to have a good time doing that. So I really think that it's going to depend. I'm still here. I don't know what's going on with my camera.
Nope, no, I hear you. We hear you loud and clear. So
Yeah.
yeah, we'll sort that. So for me, top hotel status, I do think that status like Hyatt Globalist or Hilton Diamond can definitely pay dividends, especially for family traveling. But you do have to take into account the level of hotel that you're booking as well, right? Hilton Diamond hits different when you're booking the Waldorf Astoria as opposed to the Hampton Inn, right? If you're doing Embassy Suites as opposed to one of their other like Home 2. So you do have to take that into account. Now you're still going to earn the same rate at the Home 2. Well, you're going to earn actually a little bit different at Home 2, so that's a bad example, but like you're going to earn the same rate at the Hampton Inn as you are at the Conrad as Hilton Diamond if you're paying cash, and if you're doing point stays and whatever, like you're still entitled to the same benefits, but the Conrad is going to be able to offer you way more given your status than the Hampton Inn. The Hampton Inn is not going to have a spa available for you and give you a spa credit on site. The Hampton Inn has the Hampton Inn's breakfast, which is every hotel's continental breakfast buffet with the little waffle iron that you flip yourself. Whereas the Conrad and the Waldorf are going to have much better breakfast options for you. So, Hilton Diamond, you do have to take into account where you're booking, like what you're doing. The same would be true if you were Marriott Platinum or Titanium. Marriott Gold is sort of useless. Like everybody who gets Marriott Gold, it's so saturated at Gold, and it's also getting saturated at Platinum with the Bonvoy Brilliant, and just the Bonvoy program in and of itself just needs to be burned to the ground and reconstructed into something different. It's really bad. Now, Hyatt Globalist will definitely mean something at Dreams, at the Thompson, at the Elite, at the all inclusives, at those category 6 and up hotels, and those all inclusives that are like E and F, because you're going to be fully covered pretty much from there. All inclusives, you're also going to be pretty much, from the time you check in to the time you check out, fairly well pampered, just because that's what you're paying for with all inclusive. You don't have to be globalist, you don't have to be Discoverist, you could just be a mere member at Hyatt, and an all inclusive is an all inclusive. So you may get more free things, or may get more of what you're getting at an all inclusive with Hyatt Globalist, but the difference will come at the Park Hyatt as opposed to the Hyatt Place, the Hyatt Select, the Hyatt Studio. So your top hotel status is going to be worth more, not necessarily like with your family and what level of status you have and where you're traveling. All of that will play into it. A bigger part that's going to play into it is what hotel are you booking? Where in the portfolio are you booking? If you're booking SLH with Hilton, that's going to be different than, is Candlewood Suites Hilton?
Yes, I think it's Hilton. Let me verify for you.
Because I know Homewood Suites is also Hilton.
Yes.
No,
Oh, perfect.
Candlewood is IHG actually.
Oh, IHG? Okay.
Sorry, I was looking at Candlewood Suites in Hilton Head because, got to throw that in there.
There was another one that Hilton had that was similar to Candlewood Suites that I was thinking of.
Oh, Hilton Head. How Georgia should have just gone up a couple more miles and grabbed you. Kidding to our South Carolina viewers. Anyway, so to me, I would say that top hotel status is going to accelerate the stays further up the chain where you're staying. So think of, if you're booking those free nights and you're putting together those free nights, and you're putting together those point redemptions at the Conrad, the Waldorf, the really high-end Hiltons, you're going to really accelerate your stay with diamond status. What's
So
up, Tariq?
correction, it was Homewood Suites I was thinking of. That's Hilton.
Yes. And to that end, if you're staying at the Homewood Suites, or you're staying at True, or you're staying at Home 2, like those lower end properties, you're still going to get the point earning. You're still going to get you're still sort of entitled to things, and they put out their own little like diamond parking space, which is the most hilarious thing I've ever seen at these locations. Like go to a Hampton Inn, a random Hampton Inn, and look for the reserved diamond parking space. It's literally just a normal parking space that just has like a diamond sign. It's like, if I park there, what's going to happen to me?
Hey, it's a little bit closer to the front door.
It's really not.
IHG does the same exact thing, and I think it's absolutely hilariously and stupid.
Yeah. So top hotel status. Don't think of like the status in terms. Think of the status in terms of accelerating your perks and benefits at the higher end hotels where you're doing those major point redemptions and those free night certificates at the Conrad, the Waldorf, the Park Hyatt, all of those level of locations, like the JW, the W, the Ritz-Carlton. Let's not use the Ritz-Carlton's like its own little weird brand of Hilton that not Hilton, sorry, Marriott, that is like they'll play by some rules, but they really don't want to play by any rules because damn it, they had their own reward system and they're still pissed about it, I think. Maybe that might just be some sort of projecting, but like the W, the Marriott, the JW Marriotts, all of those, the Titanium folks are entitled to more at those locations as opposed to Marriott Gold. So I would think about it in terms of where you want to stay. And if you're doing a normal family of 4, you should be able to book, a suite, should be able to book for a suite a general suite at like the Conrad that you then can get upgraded to a junior suite, or not quite like the presidential suite, but like a higher end suite because you're entitled to upgrades. That's where that worth comes in for you. So yeah, it's where you're booking, not necessarily with what status you're booking with. Any Anybody have anything else to add in there? Cool. I just want to double check. So we're going to move to our next question from AP, who asks, please build a 3-card setup staying under $200 per year on annual fees for a person who makes less than 40K a year and wants to take one budget-friendly trip a year. Please note why the card is selected, including multipliers and benefits of note. Tariq, I'll throw to you for this one first.
Budget friendly, you say? Well, I fly one of the best budget friendly airlines that you can probably get on points and even cash. And my hotel program is probably arguably one of the most budget friendly. So have you heard of the Chase Ultimate Rewards program? That's under $200 because I pretty much have that. 3 simple cards: Freedom Flex, Freedom Unlimited, Sapphire Preferred. $95, which is less than 200 if I can do math. Obviously, Sapphire Preferred, the card you need to transfer all the points and realistically probably use it for that, unless, and maybe some streaming. If you use YouTube TV, Hulu Live, YouTube Premium, et cetera, you can get 3x on that. And then
Online
maybe
groceries becoming a little bit more of a thing given recent like videos on how to.
yes, unfortunately, my store doesn't do an on like doesn't have that online grocery loophole because they just got tap to pay last year, despite that being a thing for about a decade now, maybe. So welcome to the 21st century, HEB. Freedom Flex, your 5X quarterly categories, to my fellow co-hosts, aren't a fan, but for the most part, Q1 and probably Q3, and then it will probably be your best, and then obviously the PayPal in Q4, so you can get top off at 7,500 points if I'm doing the math right, a quarter, which for the most part, other than your catch-all, which would be the Freedom Unlimited, because those two also share 3x dining, 3x drugstores, and also 5x on the Chase Travel Portal, which you can actually book Southwest flights on the Chase Travel Portal. Haven't tested it yet, but if it's the same as United per Lani, you can book your Southwest flights, earn the Rapid Rewards points, and you can either redeem on the portal for 1.25 with the points, or just pay with the cash if it's the price is similar or cheaper. But if you're going to pay the cash, you're probably better off just booking direct with Southwest. And also 2x travel on the Sapphire Preferred, but eh. But yeah, that's the strategy that I took when I was making about that income and wanted to get into points travel. So, as much as people talk about it on YouTube to the blue in the face, the Chase trifecta kind of works for the budget friendly traveler, with the exception of some other strategies that were discussed in pre-show and I didn't want to take.
There you go. RJ, floor is yours on this one.
So I have my real answer and then I have my Amex answer. There is a way to do an Amex trifecta under $200 for travel. There's a way to do it. I'm going to borrow, I think Lonnie's the one who usually does the 0 annual fee for the first year card counts as no annual fee, so I am going to steal that. The first card would be the Delta Gold. Because you don't have an annual fee for the first year, you get the take 15 off. So if you hit that sub for that card and then you have those miles, you get 15% off of your reward redemption for your flight. So if you're traveling in economy with a family, that could be the difference between you guys being able to do reward redemptions. Good Lord, is that a tongue twister tonight? Reward redemptions or not. So you also get checked bag for free, which is a nice one, priority boarding for zone 5. So you're probably not, if you're a family who's making 40,000 or less a year, you're probably not booking at the higher classes, so you will get on a little bit early. So that can be helpful. If you don't have a little kid where they're going to let you on earlier, you know, you have a 12-year-old, they're not probably going to let you on a little earlier. So this way you'll get on a bit quicker. So you'll have all of that, which is good. And then my second card, 0 annual fee, would be the Hilton Honors Card, the vanilla card, no annual fee. If you're going to go with Hilton, I think it's a really good card to have in your arsenal for no annual fee. You get 7x for hotels and resorts. That's not including whatever status you have. So you get silver with this automatically. So you would get a multiplier on that. 5x on dining, 5x on grocery, 5x on gas, and then 3x for everything else. So this could sort of become a catch-all card for you where you would be able to use this for a bunch of different options. You know, if fill some gaps in your rotation. Again, you get Hilton Silver with this. And then the third card is going to be your MR earning card, and that's going to be the green. Travel, so anything other than your hotel or your airline, so your, you know, tours, your car rentals, if you do a cruise, anything like that, you could put on this card that wouldn't fit on the Delta or the Hilton. Your transit's 3x, and then your dining is 3x. So you can sort of decide if you want the MR points, if you want the Delta points, or if you want the Hilton points for the dining portion of it. You also do get a clear credit. So if one of you wants clear and you want to jump to the front of the line and give your biometric data to somebody else, that, and this one has no foreign transaction fees as well. So I think the Delta also does, but I know this one does for sure because it's right in front of me. So I think if you're going to go with Amex, if you want MR points because that's where you want to go and you hit the sub, that's an additional 40,000 miles if you transfer them over to Delta. So that could, again, to be able to get a family on a plane could help. My actual answer is just go to Wells Fargo and get the 2X card, the journey of your flavor, and then the attune. But that's boring.
All right, fine. I'll be a little bit boring. I'm also going to say two of these cards are going to be Wells Fargo cards. You're going to get the active cash for your base 2% or 2x catch-all across the board. It will have foreign transaction fees, but if you're traveling internationally, don't bring this card because you're going to have the autograph for no annual fee to do point transfers out to transfer partners just fine. So that'll take care of your airline points. That's going to take gas. That's going to take care of potentially take care of your cell phone, depending on how you want to math things with the next card that I'm going to present. 3 times points on streaming, 3 times points on dining, 3 times points on travel and transit. So it's a very well-rounded card, no foreign transaction fees, and you still get the points on gas and dining internationally as well. So the autograph is a very well slept, very much slept on card that still shouldn't be slept on because people keep blaming Wells Fargo for things that happened 15 years ago and grow up. The third card I'm going to add in is going to be the $95 Choice Privileges Select MasterCard. You get a pretty healthy welcome offer on the card. You get an annual anniversary setup of 30,000 points. You're going to earn 22 points per dollar at Choice Hotels specifically. So you'll do a couple of cash stays. Choice Hotels aren't significantly expensive at the lower end of things. Your Sleep Inn, your Comfort Inn. Avoid the Quality Inn if you avoid the Quality Inn. Just go to the Sleep Inn, go to the Clarion. They're going to be better, but Quality Inn still exists. You're earning 22 points per dollar, so choice is yours, and will allow you to go up to build up those points to do the stays at the Cambria and the Ascent Collection properties. So nice way to build your points there. You're going to get pretty solid status with Choice as well. I think you get Choice, what is it, Diamond? Platinum?
Platinum.
Choice Platinum. So you're going to get pretty strong earning. You're going to get strong extras associated with that. The card's also going to pick up your grocery spend because it's going to be 5 times points on grocery, 5 times points on home improvement stores, and this will be your pick your poison with your phone line here. You can do 5 times points here, or you could do 3 times points that transfers over to Choice to 6 times points with the autograph. Choose your own path. however you want to do it, that's fine. You get 1 point per dollar there. You're also going to get TSA pre-check and global entry with the card. You're going to receive 20 Elite Night credits, qualifying for at least platinum status every year holding the card. It has no foreign transaction fees as well. Don't know if you're going to earn 5 times points on foreign grocery stores with the card, but hey, it's also a Wells Fargo card, so all Wells Fargo cards, no matter what they are, give you at least $800 in cell phone protection. Okay, one of them gives you 600, and the autograph journey does 1,000, but like 800's generally what you're going to get on the other cards. And you have access to MasterCard World Elite benefits. Overall, $95 card, strong assortment of hotels. You're going to ally yourself to Choice, but Choice has some pretty strong properties. So, and the redemptions aren't getting nerfed or nuked every other week, like Bonvoy or Hyatt every March, or insert other major hotel brand here. So, like, there's still some stability. Like, they do have fluctuation from time to time, but it's not nearly as bad. And you're still going to do okay with your Semper Point redemptions. And again, $95 card, TSA pre-check or global entry, automatic platinum status. You're going to get 30,000 points a year, 5 times points on grocery stores and home improvement stores. So now grocery stores, home improvement stores, transit, travel, streaming, dining, all covered with at least 3x points, which if you transfer those to Choice, the 3x points on the autograph become 6. And if you transfer them to airlines, you're still got a really solid, it's a no annual fee green card, basically, the autograph. So you're good there. Yeah, I think that would be a pretty strong setup to consider overall.
Yeah, but
So
here's the
wait,
problem. I was gonna say, here's the problem, Matt. It's a Wells Fargo card, and people already know Wells Fargo is the devil in bank form. No matter how many years has passed, no matter what happens, it's Wells Fargo, and people think that Wells Fargo is evil and you shouldn't do business with them.
The agency created to combat what Wells Fargo did is effectively gone. So, like, everyone can do that now legally to the government for the next 4 years. And Bank of America did it recently. Chase, you want to talk about like Wells being a bad bank? Like, Chase, look up all the things that Chase has been involved in terms of controversies.
Yeah, but Wells Fargo a decade and a half ago.
so wait, you're telling me that Tariq picked Chase, Matt picked Wells Fargo, and I picked Amex for the setup. I personally am
Oh
Shocked, you say, to
no,
find
we
out there's
have
gambling at this
bias.
establishment?
Oh no, we picked our partners. Dear gosh, it's a mystery.
What was it going to do? Do the city strata premiere and the city double cash and like F around for another $95 card?
No, we have self-respect.
I
Exactly.
figured you'd do Capital One, Matt.
Then I'd be maybe. But I don't believe that you should ever get the venture card. Okay, the only time you should get the venture card, the only time you should prioritize the venture card is if you can find the 100,000 point sign up. Otherwise, just be a man and get the Venture X. Be an adult and get the Venture X.
But that's above $200. And besides, unless you kind of do a Capital One loophole, you can only get two cards Capital One anyway. It's stupid.
Again, my attitude toward Capital One is
I love that we're going to title this episode Be an Adult and Get the Venture X because Matt said it. And of all of the people to advocate for the Venture X this week, it was Matt.
Yeah.
again, since the release of the Venture X, I do not know why anyone would purposely get the Venture unless it's for the 100,000 point welcome offer.
The current
I could
sign-up bonus that people are raving about right now.
I could see people downgrading to it because they don't want to pay the 395, but yes, I get your point.
I mean, I could have just done the Fairwinds card for $95 and tried to figure out the rest of things from there. But then you have to join that credit union in Florida, and that wouldn't actually be a bad play. 2x on everything, 5x on travel, 5x on theme park tickets.
And there, everybody, we can see the weeds passing us by.
the second time I've been called boring in the last 15 minutes.
I
And
did not call you boring. I said we were in the weeds, sir. That is different.
all right, let's move on to our next question from Spathco, who asks, there are lots of discussions about what cards would you keep forever, and long-term pickups. What are your thoughts on picking up cards for shorter-term goals as part of a campaign? For example, having player one and player two acquire Aspire and Surpass cards to rack up a pile of free night certificates for one planned trip with the intent to downgrade, close the cards after the goal is met. So I'll start here. I think if you are able to fit this into a short-term strategy where you want to rack up some Conrad stays, you want to rack up some Waldorf Astoria stays, and you have the spend to hit those welcome offers and to hit those free nights, and you only plan on downgrading or closing the cards afterwards, do you. Like, if that is the thing that you want to do for this particular vacation, you have a goal, you have a strategy to achieve that goal, you will achieve that goal. That does not mean that, you have to keep these cards forever. How you're going to approach it is entirely up to you. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. There are folks who will get cards for one and done. I think there's far too many people who approach certain cards as one and done cards that pick them up who probably shouldn't be picking them up. Thinking of everyone who was applying for the American Express Business Gold in the last 6 months publicly. Far too many people are getting that card just because they're picking up the welcome offer and they have no intention of keeping the card after that. Like, it's a little worrisome. And then if you really have the money to do it, there's also a good number of people who are picking up the American Express Business Platinum and then just checking that after a year. If it is part of your strategy to build up with your partners and it's a way to gain points with your partners, cool. I do think that you should try to go longer term where possible. But if your goal is, I just want to make 2026 the year of Hilton or 2026 the year of Marriott, and then after that I'm not interested in Marriott going forward. All right, cool. You're picking it up. You're picking up the cards you need to pick up to achieve whatever your goal is there and go from there. 30K and spend on the Surpass, pick up a free night certificate, another 30K combined in spend on the Surpass, pick up the free certificate. You get the 2 free certificates on the Aspire, downgrade them all, cancel them all after the first year. Like, American Express might have things to say to you if you go back to American Express in the future, but you got the vacation you wanted. And if that's what makes you happy at the end of the day, cool. Who am I to really judge? But if you're looking for a longer term relationship with Hilton or American Express, just know that strategy may have pitfalls. Unless you already have like a really strong relationship with American Express, and Spathco in particular has an incredibly strong relationship with American Express. I'm not going to get into it too deeply here. He knows the relationship that he has. We know the relationship that he has. It's a very one-sided relationship where Spathco is really making out well with them, but not everyone is going to have that relationship with American Express. The people I said who are applying for the American Express Business Gold, who probably shouldn't be applying for the American Express Business Gold, can't have this sort of relationship where they're going to, I hate to use this term, hit it and quit it with American Express very quickly. So that's all I can say there. There be pitfalls. If you can avoid them, great. If you're in a position where you can avoid them, even better. But yeah, don't worry about it. Don't think it's a bad strategy. It's, you've picked up your partner short term. In the episode that was last week, Lonnie did mention that pick your partners doesn't mean, and Lonnie has mentioned, pick your partners doesn't mean pick your partners forever. Your partners can change from time to time. So if they change on a short term basis, cool. I have filibustered long enough on this one. Let's go to Tariq for his thoughts here.
I told myself that I would stop bitching about the World of Hyatt business card. With that being said, that's part of my thoughts. As much as I loved getting all the points and spending all the points, I'm trying to figure out the whole keep or cancel thing, and I haven't even had the card for 6 months. And for 5. So yeah, as great as it is to kind of get like a huge amount of points, I think me personally, I'm better suited opening up cards that I can use longer than a year, or see like a year to year 3+ outlook on them instead of, oh crap, this card has X annual fee and I don't see myself using it. So yeah, I'm definitely more long term just off personal experience.
RJ?
I hate this question. I hate this question for a lot of reasons, and this is not against Spaithco at all. But to do what he is proposing in this question, you have to have triple my salary and spend a year to make it worth it, right? Like the amount of spend you have to put through cards is just something that I do not personally have experience with, nor do I even consider as a valid solution for most people. Right. So when I'm asked a question, especially on the podcast, like I'm not thinking necessarily about just the person asking it. I'm thinking about the people who are going to listen to this when it comes out, 6 months from when it comes out, a year from when it comes out. Right. Like that is part of the preparation that I do for this podcast. And my frustration with people who ask questions like this is not that they're bad questions, because I think if Spaithco is asking me, should I do this? I would say for him, probably yes, because he does have a strong relationship with American Express, because he does have the amount of spend required, because his credit score and his file is not going to be diminished by opening a few cards and having his in average age of credit lowered. Like it's not going to significantly go down if he opens a couple of cards, has them for a year and closes them, right? It'll be fine. But the people who are going to hear me answer, like if I were to answer this to Spaithco, the people who are going to hear that answer probably don't have a spend and probably don't have his relationship with Amex and probably don't have his average age of credit. So I think for most people, you should look more long term. You should care about keeping a card for more than a sign up bonus. I think people forget that, yes, you want that sign up bonus. I don't really want the card, but then you might have to go 5 or 6 more years before they'll give you that card. So even if you realize, oh, there was this credit on there, or there was something about the perks or features or whatever, I really could get that card again. You cancel it and then you realize how important it is to you. You might not be able to get it back. So I think that for most people, this is a hell no. For Spaithco, it's probably a yes. And I understand why he asked it. I don't think it's a bad topic to have a conversation about. But questions like this, from somebody who's coming at it as I make quote a typical American salary, right? Like I'm in that range of sort of quote typical American. So for me, these questions are very frustrating because they're predicated on you having so much spend. And I think a lot of people have questions where they're like, well, if I'm spending $200,000 a year, and I'm like, I'm out. Like, I am not able to answer a question. Like, can I math it out? Can I figure it out? Yes. But just in general, most people who are listening to this podcast don't have that much spend. Like, most people in America don't have that much spend, right? Like, you're in the top 10% of the earning of this country at that point, right? So it's becoming a problem of like, yes, if you're on the super high end of it, if if you own a business, if you're making a lot of money, you can do things differently. You can potentially, look at churning cards a little bit more. And I would consider this in the realm of churning cards. It's not for points, but it's for free night certificates. So you can be a churner in that way. But I hate this question because I think most people who are going to hear it would just hear me say, yes, Spaithco, you probably can do this, and think it applies to them, and it doesn't apply to you. Not because I think you're lesser, not because I think you're doing something morally wrong, not because I think you're not worth, free night certificates at the Conrad, right? It just, most people don't have the spend. I don't have the spend. I could not do this. I don't have a player two to begin with, but I could not do this with my spend. Would never be able to hit the spend requirements to do this. So I don't have the experience of what it would be like. So when I'm formulating my answer, I can't formulate it in a way to actually give an answer to our listeners and give Spaithco his specific answer without saying no to one group and yes to another. And to me, that is frustrating simply because I don't want somebody to misinterpret and think I'm talking about them when I'm not. I want you to keep asking questions, Spaithco. I'm not telling you not to ask questions. I'm not even telling you not to ask questions like this. I just want people to understand, like, when we're answering questions from people in our Discord, join the Discord, there's actually usually more context to it. We know the people asking the questions. We know in general their spend. We know certain things about their preferences, so we can answer those questions in a way that is more tailored to them. If you're sort of not in our Discord, if we don't know your situation, we're answering them more broadly, and we may mistakenly assume you have, X spend or Y spend, and it may or may not apply. So an answer wrapped inside a mini, not quite rant.
Kind of goes back to that question that Kit Kat had about moral responsibility as creators.
Yes. Yeah. In short, like Kit Kat, sorry, not Kit Kat, Spaithco specifically for you, you can probably get away with that if you're going to turn Hilton into your thing. If you don't want Hilton to be your thing, whatever is going to be your thing can be your thing. Those who are not Spaithco and those who do not have significant spend, you may not want to try and grab the Aspire and the Surpass in the same year. That's a $700 annual fee right there. And if you're going to do multiple Surpasses, that's $30K in spend to get 2 free night certificates. That's a lot. Yeah. So there are folks who can do the spend. If you can do the spend, great. If you can't do the spend, for all that is holy, please math out the spend before you click apply. Like, really do that math. And if you want answers on some of that math, join the Discord. We'll try to help out as best we can. We do have like a credit card chat. We may have to do like more advanced credit card chat or credit card theory channel at some point, just because some of the things can go out there with trying to help. But yeah, join the Discord. We can definitely help you out from there with more context.
We have
We'll
a
see what we can do.
channel. It's called I Have a Question. And if you have a
Yes.
specific question, you can put your question in I Have a Question, and then we will answer your question to your particular situation.
Yeah, I think that credit card
Yes.
theory space you were talking about would just be like Spaithco's play place at that point.
Yeah. Well, Spaithco and some others. No, that's fair. Go to the I Have a Question section of the Discord and we can, give us some context. We can go from there. Discord's always in the description down below. Speaking of the Discord, if you want to ask a question for the podcast, we do have a podcast questions section of the Discord that you can use to ask us questions. You can also utilize the comments on the Friday video is my request, just so that RJ and I don't go insane when looking for questions. Or you can send us an email, stackyourpoints@gmail.com, and you can ask those questions there. We will do our best to respond. And yeah, we look forward to those questions coming in that media. Thanks for watching the questions. We will talk to you next week.